everyone hear me back there? How's the acoustics? Good. Hey, what an exciting night. We are here. Is this, Mayor Cagle, is this the first event, very first event in this awesome building, okay? Yeah. It's amazing when I hear people at work and so forth, they talk about this building, and they talk about teacher this and teacher that, and the principal's office and so forth. To see it transform into what it's going to be today, the municipal building, is an awesome feat. So Mayor Cagle, thank you, and this is a great building. You guys, the chamber, we have moved, okay? We're located here, and what an awesome space that we have. And we're so excited to be down here, and we thank the mayor and everyone for this awesome space, and it's really saving the chamber some money, so maybe we can put that money for better use for economic development. So thank you. Man, you know, it's really incredible what has happened to Bledsoe County over the last, say, year, just a year. You know, you think about the Veterans Park, you think about the farmers market, you think about the potential new health center coming in. You know, new news today, Hubbard has been purchased by a company called Avagen. Avagen is a very large company based out of Huntsville, Alabama, owned by a German family. Very solid company. They have purchased Hubbard. One of the biggest values was the complex here in Pikeville. We're currently running at 40%. We think that in a very near future, we'll be running at 80, 90%. Right. So that means we are. Yeah. And then, my goodness, the governor came in, Mayor Ridley and Mayor Cagle, what a great feat. Textile Corporations of America, talk about 1,000 new jobs to Bledsoe County. So great things happening. Well, very good. You know, again, welcome. This is exciting times in Bledsoe County, exciting times in Pikeville, Tennessee, of course. First event here. We have a great guest speaker tonight, Miss Amy. Thank you for being here, and we'll introduce you later. But, so at this time, Ray Evans, could you bless us with invocation, please?
Bow, please. Almighty God, we're thankful for this beautiful day that you've given us. Lord, we're thankful for the place that we live in, this beautiful valley, Lord, and when you drive out and get to drive back in, what a beautiful view we have. We're just thankful for each family that's here tonight, Lord, and we're just thankful for all the people in Bledsoe County. I pray that you'll be with them. I pray, Lord, that you'll bless each family, and I pray, Lord, that you'll continue to be with the chamber. We're thankful for this new facility that we have, Lord, and I've looked at and been in many city councils, city offices, and municipal buildings, Lord, and this is one of the finest ones that I know of around any place. And we're thankful for it. We're just thankful for the announcement of new industry, Lord, and I pray that you'll bless that venture, and I pray that it'll work many people for many years, Lord. I pray that you'll just be with Amy as she travels the state. Thankful for her willingness to come and speak to us tonight. I pray, Lord, that you'll just bless each family, and I pray that you'll bless this food to the nourishment of our body. These things we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Could you lead us in pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to introduce our guest speaker tonight, but before I do that, I want to recognize a couple of people that's here. Mr. Ethan Lloyd with Bledsoe Telephone is here filming our event tonight. I'll be able to catch a second clips of this later on, right, on channel 18.
That's right.
Thank you, Ethan, for being here. And a good friend of mine and a good friend of our county for a long time, Mr. Greg Harwood. Greg Craig was very active with the Chamber of Commerce for a number of years, and he was actually our chairman for 2 years. And we're just delighted to have you here. We really are. Thank you for meeting. Our guest speaker, normally I can kind of mumble this off, you know, but she's got so many things that she's responsible for.
You shouldn't tell
I'm
people
going to have to read this. I just can't remember all this. So we're delighted to have you here, by the way. We're pleased to have Miss Amy Blaylock New, Assistant Commissioner of the Rural Development for the state of Tennessee. Amy is the lead for all of the state's rural economic development and grant initiatives, including the Select Tennessee programs, which include the certified sites, the top site certification program in the country according to Area Development Magazine, Tennessee's 3-star program, preparedness certification, Tennessee Main Street, Tennessee Downtowns, Tourism Enhancement, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Community Development Block Grants, Appalachian Regional Commission, and Delta Regional Authority. I'm surprised you had enough time to come and share your time with us tonight. We're delighted that you have. Please welcome.
That's actually my team
Oh.
who does all that. They are. I have probably one of the best teams in the state of Tennessee. Can everyone hear me? They're pretty good. Okay. So thank you too for that introduction. The most important thing that is not in that list of bio is that I am from Monterey, Tennessee. Does everyone know where Monterey is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And so I actually didn't realize I was so close to home. So Dakota, that's with us, he's our lead intern at ECD. He may get to run by my farm on the way home. He doesn't know this yet, but we may have to stop and see my grandma and my mom and them. But actually, so I grew up in Monterey on my grandparents' farm there, and I cannot tell you. It's funny looking back. I guess it was a couple weeks ago. My daughter was getting ready for kindergarten orientation, and they make you fill out this thing about what you want to be when you get older. And so I asked her, I was like, "What do you want to be when you get older?" She's like, "I want to work for the state and for the governor when I get big. I want to do that just like you." And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And my mom's like, "You said the same thing," which is interesting because when you grow up and you see how much that the effect that your family or the people around you can have on the community, and I can tell just walking into this room, you all are all so proud and so just so connected to, and every time I come here I feel like I'm in home. I feel like I'm in Putnam County or I'm in Monterey. But thank you so much for having me. Jay, thank you. Mayor Cagle, Mayor Ridley, so much. Just a little bit about ECD, Department of Economic Community Development. So we have different divisions. We have our Business Development Division, and then we have our Community and Rural Development, which is the division that I oversee. Our business development focuses solely on business retention and recruitment. So they're going out and constantly doing the site. They're going to Hubbard, saying, do you have everything you need? Hopefully, here when you go to Gear Up at 80% or 90%, when you guys get to that, ECD will be able to come in and help with that expansion, bringing in those jobs too. So we can't have any business development like we had last week. We had 1,000 jobs, $27.1 million in capital investment right here in the county. And what's even more exciting is it was someone who was from Tennessee that's making this investment here in Tennessee, in Bledsoe County. But yeah, I know, I'm so excited. So I was up in Northeast Tennessee last week when this was happening, and I came home and my husband was like, "Amy, like you have been like retweeting and like sharing all this stuff all day, like what's going on?" I was like, "You have to see this." And I started going through all the news feeds of everybody that's in this room. He was like, "It's like someone's landed on the moon." Like that's how excited I was. Like, they have landed on the moon. We just landed. I mean, this is one of the biggest investments, not only just in this county, but also that we've ever had in one of our rural distressed counties in the state's history. So that's huge, and that's hats off to all the people in here that helped sell it too whenever we were doing that. But so we wouldn't have that type of recruitment, that type of those expansions if we didn't have the community and rural development side. So we have to make sure that our communities are safe, that we have an educated workforce, that we have a healthy workforce, and that we have a beautiful one. I was here about 4 years ago. How long have you been the city mayor? 4 years. 5 years, okay. I tried to gauge it. My daughter was just born. I remember I was coming out here and I was pregnant at the time, but we were doing the Tennessee Downtowns and the farmers market and the outdoor pavilion. and you all were solely focused on making sure that you had a place in the downtown where people could gather, where people could be proud to drive through. I cannot believe how beautiful it looks when I drove through earlier. I got a little lost trying to find it here, but I was so happy that I got to drive through, and everyone was so sweet. They're doing some reenactments tonight, or this week, for the
There was a reenactment gentleman.
Yeah. And he helped us find our way here, but it was so sweet. Wanted to talk about the textile, the company coming in. They were asking about how they could apply for that. And so just that energy that everyone has too. So community and rural development, some things that we've done from our side over the last, probably, I've been with the state for 8 years. The most I've ever seen happen in community and rural development has probably happened over the last probably 2 or 3 years. Commissioner Boyd came into ECD about 3 years ago and had us pull some reports, because we had, everything that we had was like wonderful. We were spitting off all these accolades across the nation. He read that earlier about the certification was the #1 in the country certification program. We had 28,000 jobs announced. We had $1 billion worth of capital investment. Nashville was getting so much attention, Memphis was getting so much attention, but we still had so many communities absolutely struggling and saying, we need help. We can't meet payroll, we can't do this. Like, obviously we were missing something. So we pulled some economic statistics through the Appalachian Regional Commission, which it follows these 52 counties down the beautiful part of the state. Sorry, that's from Bledsoe, but the mountainous, pretty parts. But it showed, when we pulled all this data, that 21 of our 95 counties were considered federally distressed, meaning they were in the bottom 10% in the nation in unemployment per capita and poverty. And then the 35 above that were in the bottom 25% in those areas. So more than half of our state was in the bottom 25% in the nation in unemployment per capita income and poverty. So we handed this over to the governor. We're like, this is great. We're talking about all these accolades, but we have major disconnect in many of our other communities. And he was like, this is not acceptable. We need to do something. So we completely switched gears. We started the Governor's Rural Task Force. We restructured our entire department and went out and actually did listening tours across the state, 25 different communities, and we held one here in Pikeville. And we sat down and said, what are your needs? Obviously, if we were doing everything right at ECD, we wouldn't have these issues in this community. So what can we do to change this? There were 5 things that came up in these listening tours. One was site development was #1. We do not have any product on our shelves to even show a company when they come. If you do not have a site, you can't even compete for a company. Usually people say, well, we don't have the workforce, but if you don't have a site, that's #1. The other things were, #2 was around our education workforce. 3 was just in general community development and community capacity. People having enough people at the table to actually make those things happen. The 4th was tourism was major. They say, we are not all about bringing in big industry. We have a beautiful, beautiful county, and we need to capitalize on those God-given assets that we have in our community. And then #5 was broadband. And so we immediately started looking at all the ways that we could reorganize our department to meet those. We also realized quickly that it wasn't everything ECD could do. So we put together the Governor's Rural Task Force. It was 21 different state, federal, and local agencies that came together to sit on this. And everyone from USDA, TVA, to our Department of Agriculture, Tourism, ECD, Tennessee Bankers Association, we had a huge group. And then we broke it down into our subcommittees, the people who were actually boots on the ground in our communities. And actually, Mayor Ridley, you were on our community and leadership subcommittee, which was so very helpful. And we did tons of things that came out. Did we have someone else in here that was on I feel like we had another person from Bledsoe County. Maybe it was Beth Jones that's with the development district. You have the best development district in the state, by the way, with Beth Jones leading that. But we had the subcommittees break up, and we had 21 different recommendations that came out of all of this work that was representing over 120 people across the state in areas of site development, community development, tourism, agriculture, and small business. And we took all of those, and I'm talking kind of quick because I want to go over that part and get to the good stuff to talk about the programs. But when we presented these to the governor, and he looked at them, he was like, how much? First I was like, you want how much? And he always does his hands on his head. But 21 million, but let me just tell you what we want to do with it. And this isn't just ECD that came up with this. And it wasn't all the state agencies. It's all the people who are in the communities had these programs, and we had great programs to show. It was everything from site development, where we can go and help communities develop an industrial park, an industrial site without a bird in hand, without having a TCA in hand. An industrial park you guys have here, or a site. Say you have a site here, it does not have any water yet, or it doesn't have the electricity that a company would need, or it's on septic. Many companies will say we want something that has this wastewater, 18-inch pipe, which is a pretty big water pipe, and a 61 kV. If you do not have something that meets those or close to it, you're immediately taken out of the list. So we want to make sure that we have certified sites across the state that could actually be competitive, and that we can put in there, not only just in the state, but across the globe when we're recruiting from overseas. So we had $10 million for that, and then we had another $500,000 to go toward a property evaluation program. And I'm proud to say that Bledsoe County is actually going through that program. We only take 6 per round. Is that right? We have 6 this time, right? So you all made the cut. And it is a program that you actually identify up to 8 sites that are both either industrial, well, you can do a building, you can do greenfield, you can do industrial park. Submit these to the state, and we have Austin Consulting, who is a nationally recognized consulting firm and site selection group that comes in and they look at all these sites. And they're like, this one we could definitely sell to this type of company, or this one we could, and they go through and they narrow them down to the ones that you should put at the top, and that you can go to the county commissioner, you can go to the city council and say, we need to invest in these, and this is what we need to put there. And this is something that has been probably the most popular out of all of our programs, because so often we have seen where some communities will go and they will say, we have a park that we've found, or a farm that's Joe Bob's uncle, and he wants to sell it, and we can get it for a really good deal. And so they'll go buy it, and it's a really good deal, but then you have to take infrastructure to it, and you have to do all these things to actually get it ready. So we want to make sure that we're preparing the communities to make the best investment possible, and it's something that we can all sell. So the property evaluation, you are going through that, and you actually, in the next couple of weeks, you probably should be having your meeting.
Yes.
Which is super exciting. Going through that program is what will make you eligible for the site development grant program. So any sites that are in that are publicly owned or will become publicly owned will be eligible for the $10 million grant program. That's huge.
The city actually has 50 acres that will be included in that.
Okay.
And we're hoping to be able to get utilities to that through that next
Awesome.
grant.
It's 50 acres? Wow. So you'll be able to get certified as well?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's 50 acres. I mean, that's like that's huge. Does it have rail on it too?
No.
Or close to it? No? Okay. Still, 50 acres is huge. So that's great. Now that you guys will have that.
It's 50 acres.
Yeah.
But
So,
it's
yeah.
adjacent, it is surrounded about, 1,200 acres?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have access to about 12.
So that's 50 acres that's usable right there, and then has, okay. We need to bring all our project managers down here too to see that. But congratulations to you all for doing all that work to get your sites ready. The tourism aspect of the $21 million of recommendations to the governor, there was $2 million that was set aside for tourism infrastructure asset enhancement. It's a really long, tourism assets is basically what we're investing in. But when we went out and did our listening tour, we would go to some counties and they'll say, the only incentives you have for us, or the only way you can help us is if it's for industrial recruitment. And that's not all our bread and butter. We're so far off the highway, or we don't have rail even close, but we do have this beautiful fall. We have Fall Creek Falls, or we have Center Hill Lake. We have all these assets, the Ecoe River. we need help enhancing those to bring people in, and so our tax revenues go up. And so the community's actually helped us develop a tourism enhancement grant. And we will be on our third round of that, and we've already put out $2 million. And I cannot tell you how wildly successful those actual businesses who have been doing this, or the counties who have done this, have been. Some examples, we did a shooting range out in Carroll County in West Tennessee, and they will be hosting the National Southeast High School and College shooting competitions will be coming to Tennessee. They have another rifle one that's a national competition that will be coming to Tennessee to host this because they built this gun range. Some others, Ray County with the Bass Pro and everything, building a new dock out there and doing some improvements to market that. So how can we make sure that we're bringing people into the county? The non-traditional economic development is what they call it, but it's economic development to ECD. Is enhancing those tourism assets. Some others were around our business development with small businesses. So we have a Rural Opportunity Fund, and it's a little over $7 million that will be going in to help local small businesses, entrepreneurs, either with startup money, or there's also some technical assistance to kind of help them figure out exactly if they are, kind of help them understand what their customers need, or what's the best way for them to get their product out there. It includes everything from mobile labs that will, instead of you coming to me and saying, I really want to take this product to market, or I really want to figure out how to get this business started. Usually we would probably say, well, we have this great place in Chattanooga, or we have this great place in Nashville, or in Knoxville. Like, you can go there, you can talk to them. But we want to be able to bring the products. So let's stop exporting everything out of our small rural communities to go to the big city to get this assistance. How can we bring it to them? So we have these mobile units, and we're going to be doing 3 across the state that will be bringing everything from a 3D printer, so that you can test the widget that you're looking at or the product that you are looking to create or take to market. They'll have CAD machines on them. They'll have different programs, everything from Adobe Design to architectural programs. So that's kind of the ways of, like, how can we be a little bit more innovative with the ways that we can help our small businesses. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, all the things that we did through that. There's also leadership training for our mayors, that it's more not let's teach you how to be a good leader, but let's teach you how to or help you get your city council or your county commissioner. Do we have county commissioner or city council? I'm sure we do, right? City council. Any county commissioners? No? How many commissioners do you have?
13.
13. City council? 4. Okay. So how can we make sure that we are getting our commission and our city council as engaged as possible in everything that we're doing? So all the growth that we have going on, how can we bring them to the table and make sure that they understand that the investments that we're making in our school system or in our sites, that it's a good investment, and it's something that will overall be, it'll come back into the county for investments. But I was trying to think of some other things that came out of ours, the restructure of JECDB, but that's kind of that area. Some other things that we do within rural development, really we just want to be the biggest cheerleaders possible for our communities and be that convener, that connector. I know that we're sitting in this, and USDA Rural Development helps some with this. Is that correct? USDA Rural Development helps with the kitchen. They're probably one of our biggest partners when it comes to the farmers markets and creating this community center. TDEC and Energy with the windows. You all have done so good with this, by the way. I know you're so proud. I'm so excited for you, but if there's ever anything or anyone in this room that is looking to either start a business or has a tourism asset, and you all must be, you have tourism, these two right here? What do you have? I see it when I saw tourism, their eyes were like,
Well, we've been talking about that for a while.
Okay.
And it's just business, and we have
oh,
a
okay.
little cafe.
So a destination business.
Yeah, and we got a couple other things in town going on. So I've been saying, like, if tomorrow there were 12 antique stores at Pikeville, how many more people would come to Pikeville?
because then it becomes a destination.
Mhm,
So right
absolutely.
now, most people in the surrounding area, you probably know Friday night, won't think, let's go to Pikeville. So we're unique in Pikeville that we sit in the middle of a 70-mile stretch of valley.
Mhm.
So we've got anchor cities on both sides. We've got the largest state park 20 minutes away in the state. So there's a lot to capitalize on there. But for my wife and I, it's small investors. We really enjoyed investing in the community and doing things. But it would be nice to feel like somebody else had some skin in the game and said, next time you do your next project or you want to do something, we've got some grant money or we've got a way to
Yeah.
help you. And so we're always interested in that. We love the community.
We're just coming out of building a bed and breakfast.
Okay.
So you can imagine
That's
how
wonderful.
much we need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's fun. We think this is the last stop before heaven. Pikeville's beautiful.
Yes, I love that. I
You know,
love that.
this is like paradise. But we.
That should be your tagline.
Well,
I love that.
We're almost looking there. But we like the last stop before
I love
heaven.
that. But yes, making yourself a destination that's looking at things
Yeah,
like that.
so we need some help there, and I guess a lot of people think we have a lot of money, but we don't. We just invest really wise. But it would be nice to know that we didn't have to put everything we have into the business, and that somebody was kind of coming in and helping.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if there's anything, we have a whole division of, well, I won't say a whole division, it's one lady with the Business Enterprise Resource, but what she does is she connects people who are looking to start business with those at the state level and also at the federal level.
Right.
So,
we want some help.
yeah, I'd love to. And also, Bledsoe County is, because they are one of our distressed counties, they got to go through our asset enhancement, or well, no, what do we call it? We have all these different
I know, I can't keep up with it.
I know. Asset-based planning, that was it. We had asset-based planning that we did for all our distressed counties and those who just came off this past year. And it was really to sit down and just say, what are your assets? Let's make sure we know what they are. And obviously, you guys really can capitalize on the tourism that you have, or the things around here, and you have this valley. Like, how can we really capitalize on that? And bring the people who are going to Fall Creek Falls. How do we get them over here to spend money to eat in the restaurants, to go when you guys have the park, the nights that you all play music on the square there at the park, but and the farmers market. I've heard nothing but amazing things, like selling out by 11 o'clock or before noon. That's so exciting. But how do we capitalize that and bring people from outside to come to that? But you all will be doing the tourism grant.
Start the study tomorrow, we meet with our agent that's going to
The
do the study
consultant.
tomorrow. And then that's the one that we partnered with Marion County, Sequoia County, and Bledsoe. And then there's another 50,000 out there that we applied for that comes after that.
That will be your asset enhancement, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean,
But we're going to take what we get in information from this initial study to show where that 50,000 is to go.
so doing the planning before, and that makes it even bigger. That's exciting. Does anyone ever have, do you guys have questions about anything that I've talked about from PCD standpoint? I told Jay I really wanted to have time for you
How's
guys
the
to
new
talk.
commissioner and how's?
How is the new? He's wonderful. So Bobby Roth joined us in March. This is March. Gosh, it seems like it was just the other day, but yes, it was in March. And he has a lifelong career. He started the West End Holdings Group in Nashville, and so he's been in capital private investment for quite some time. But he's also worked it from the side of helping communities build debt. So they can make more investments. So he's also had the experiences of going into the rural communities. He is very much so dedicated to not only, his number one thing when he came in, he said, I don't want to change anything because you guys are rocking and rolling, but I want to make sure that I give you the tools you need to run your railroad. So whatever you need, you come to me. But he has been hitting the road hardcore, doing recruitment overseas and across the globe, or across the U.S., and really selling our certified sites and our sites that are across the state. So like the 50-acre site you were talking about, like that's one that would go in our portfolio and we'd be talking about every time we go somewhere. So I think he's wonderful. It's great. But yes, we're not stopping. No,
Is he better than Randy Boyd?
I haven't the camera's way over here, no.
Wait a minute, let's get
The
that.
burgers were so good. The burgers were great. That's a good question. But, anyone have any other questions? We do love Randy, and we love Bobby. Awesome. Do you have anything? Thank you.
No, I'm gonna ask you some stuff afterwards. Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and if there's anything, I'll give you guys my card, but if you ever need anything, you can talk to Jay or to Mayor Cable or Mayor Ridley. They know how to get a hold of me. But I just appreciate you guys asking me to be here and giving me the opportunity to come back this way. I miss Monterey so very bad, and I will tell you, my daughter, who is, like I said, she's 5 years old, every time we go to Monterey, she's like, why don't we just move back here? Why don't we just live here? And so one day my goal to be back in Monterey. But for right now, I feel like I want to be a cheerleader for all of our rural communities in Nashville. So I'll keep doing that for now. But thank you so much for letting me come out.
And we thank you for your support, and keep an eye on this county, because
Absolutely.
we're headed places. Yeah, so thank you very much. Some announcements. Let's talk about some good things coming up. We have a fall festival October 6th, which is a Friday, October 7th, obviously Saturday, and October 8th. So a 3-day event. New this year will be a golf tournament. The golf tournament will be at Fall Creek Falls, the golf course, and we'll have additional information come out about that. So October 6th, the golf tournament, and then Gina, could you tell us a little bit about the fall festival that
Sure.
is being...
Saturday, October 7th is Fall Festival, and it's really kicking off with, we've got a World War II reenactment where we'll have 2 different sites going on where they take over the courthouse and stuff. It'll be really exciting. And we're asking everybody to dress up, to dress up in the 40s. And we've got the drama team, the drama club is going to come in and act too. We have, in the evening, we have like a 27 or 28 piece orchestra coming in to play swing music to go along with the 40s. A couple of different dance clubs doing swing dance will be coming and doing dance competitions and stuff, which will be really neat. And lots of vendors, good time. We have a petting zoo, all kind of real fun stuff for the kids to do all day long, so that'll be great. And then Sunday, we have our second farm to table, which is so exciting, so we're really looking forward to that.
Good. Thank you, Gina. Rebecca Baldwin, thank you for being here tonight with the Tennessee Career Center, correct? You must be getting busy right about now.
I love it.
Yeah.
The busier we are, the better we like it.
There you go. There you go. Is there any news from your career center regarding Bledsoe County, or you're helping recruiting yet, or?
Well, we don't have a lot of details to work on.
Okay.
But that's something that we do if we have an employer who wants some help. We can do job fairs, we can take applications, we can do a multitude of different things to help.
Very good, thank you. Winky, Greg, would love you guys to address us and let us know what's happening, what's new. We know a lot that's going on the last couple of weeks, but anything
I messed
else?
up the day and let Mayor Cagle go first, so I think I'll go first today. No, if I could just talk about Amy New for just a second, because most of you will know who Amy is when you hear that her grandfather was Tommy Burks and her grandmother was Senator Burks, and her mother was mayor of Putnam County, Kim Blaylock, for several terms. And I've had the privilege of working with all of them since 2002. When I came back this time, Amy was in charge of 3-Star. You know, I left the courthouse, mayor's office in 2010 by popular demand, if you remember. And they allowed me to come back in 2014. And the first name that came out was Amy New with 3-Star, and I got to start working with her then, and she's moved on up now and just been such an asset. It was her planning, her organization of distressed counties is the reason, one of the reasons, and the major reason this company is landing here. So I can't say enough about Randy Boyd's insight and Amy Hughes' insight and what they've been able to help us do here. As far as announcements, we're going to be walking on water for a while with those jobs coming in. We're very happy that is happening. We have got about $1.8 million worth of grants that we are cranking up, and almost all those came through ECD. Our housing grant through HUD, they've actually changed the law and changed the rules have not been established yet. So as soon as those rules are set in the HUD department, we'll be able to take applications for distressed houses. We have $500,000 that we can help senior citizens who have worked hard all their life, paid for their own property, paid for their house, but now because of retirement situation, maybe can't maintain it, and we may be able to do some things there. As you know, the county has bought the 10 acres on the bypass across from the subway. That's going to be our new Bledsoe County medical enhancement project. The $750,000 that we got for a new health department will go there along with the doctor's office for Erlanger and hopefully a new emergency room for Bledsoe County. And that will all be under one roof. And this is going to be a first really for Tennessee that the Department of Health is going to be under the same roof as our local health provider. So we're very excited about all the things that are happening. We still have an empty building field. We still have a 50-acre field that the city owns that needs utilities too. And so we're going to continue to work to make Bledsoe County the best place it can be. But most important, I'm honored to serve as your county mayor, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Mayor Cagle, give us some news.
I don't have much to say. Thanks for being here. This is our first event in the new building. Jay said a minute ago how much he appreciated the chamber being here. I don't know if he appreciates us as much as we do him. Because when you come in the front door of the chamber headquarters there, the receptionist that you'll meet, if you have any questions, is a chamber volunteer. And we want to say we really appreciate those chamber volunteers. Judy's here and maybe some others here. But anyway,
Billy.
Yeah, Billy, there's Billy. Sorry, Billy. But anyway, we're so proud to have the chamber down here. We do have available space still on the east end of the building that we'll be trying to fill. We also have the Tennessee Highway Patrol's office down the hall there in the back portion of the chamber office. So we get security 24 hours a day. So we get a free receptionist and free security. Pretty good deal. But anyway, we're glad you're here. Thanks, Amy, for being here. I love your grandfather and your grandmother. I know them both, known them a long time, and great people.
I wouldn't be half the person they are.
But anyway, thanks for being here, and now you know what you got here, and it's available. So don't hesitate to call and say we want to have a class reunion, a family reunion. That's what it's here for. Like Amy said, we had a grant for the kitchen, and the grant had to be used for a kitchen and our training rooms. So if you have any training programs you want to do, they're available. Just call Betty here and set up the calendar when you need them. Hubbard's already got to use one of our training rooms, and we're proudly got to use that. Hopefully our new industry, if they need training room, we've got it available. But more important than anything about this building, we salvaged a historical building, folks. Let me tell you, it was breaking my heart to see it sit here and grow up and just deteriorate like it was. But I'm telling you, I'm very proud of this building. But the gentleman sitting right over here, Mr. Bob Rennick, if you look at the tile, now we're going to do an open house probably maybe in September or maybe October when we bring everybody and see it. Every piece of this tile was laid by a trustee from the jail. We've had 4 and 5 guys here daily, just like we did on the Bureau building for 4 years. Bob working with them. All the trim work you see, and I'll give you a few details, all the wood trim you see, That wood came out of the ceilings of this building. We've not bought any trim wood. They had a planer down here, they got set up, they sanded, and all the doors you see up and down the hall are original doors. They changed the windows out, made them larger, and refinished those doors, saved all those. Just a tremendous amount of work has went into this building, but it's went in there by local trustees at our local jail, and I've said this last week over the Deer Building. And and I appreciate Sheriff Morris and Paula Peters, the trustee, the administrator out there for letting us use those guys. We couldn't begin to tell you how much money these guys have saved the city, and they saved the county continuously too. The county uses them, city uses them. And I'm going to say one thing too, and what comes out of these programs like this, working these guys, I had a guy that worked on the Deer Building 4 years with Bob. He is now a full-time city employee and one of the best employees you could ever want. I'm telling you, this guy is fantastic what he saves the city. All they need is sometimes is a second chance. And I'm going to tell you, as long as I'm mayor and I can work these guys and they prove themselves, they're going to get a second chance with me. And I'm proud of them, and I'm really proud that Bob works with these guys like he does. There's more than just working with them every day. It's the influence that he has on them and the closeness that they develop by working daily. And I didn't want to talk so much, but I just wanted you to know what this building is made up of. There's a lot of love went into this building. Believe me, folks. It's not contractors that comes in here. Sure, we had some. But these guys, if you come in here one day and watch these guys work and see how much pride they take in this building, you will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're proud of it, but we want it used. We want the community, the county, we want people down here using this building as often as they need to. And just put the word out. Jay, thank you guys for being in Chamber, for being here. And like I say, we got some more available space. So we're willing to talk to anybody that's looking for somewhere to go.
Thank you, Mayor Taylor. On that note, we'd like to invite everyone that would like to tour. We'll stick around and show you this awesome space that we have at the Chamber. So looking forward to that. So anyone wants to stay, please do. There's something going on with the eclipse coming up soon. Can someone talk about that? Gina!
It's still being finalized, but they.
No, it's really going to happen. August 21st,
Yeah,
all over again. It's really going to happen. They said rain or shine.
It's going to be at the Little Blue Field.
Right here?
Yes.
Okay.
And they'll have, I'm not sure exactly how many pairs of glasses they'll have, but they will have a section here where you can watch it. So that's really all I know, sorry.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good event.
I think it's 10 to 4 or 3. Yeah. I think
Sunrise to
it's
sunset.
just supposed to be around 2:32 around here, something like that. So
1:30.
yeah, 1:30 our time.
Great, thank you. Any other announcements?
Oh, I'd like to make an announcement.
Yes, please.
I'm with the Bledsoe County Rescue Squad also, and we are going to be holding our 5th annual Smoke in the Valley Barbecue Festival and Competition September 23rd. We want to invite all the vendors that you know of, all the community to come out and enjoy it. We will have live entertainment. I think Cody McCarver is going to try to sing for us. So anybody that wants to contact me with a vendor, an exhibit, or anything like that, or want to be part of it, just contact us at Rescue Squad. But that'll be September 23rd, so keep that on y'all's calendar.
Will chickens be on the menu?
I don't know what they will be cooking. They should have pork, chicken. They should have all of that. It is the Kansas City is sanctioned with the barbecue. Huh?
Okay.
Yes, I think so. It's left up to the individual competitor as whether they let you taste it or not. But this year we're going to try to get everybody to be able to do some tasting and stuff like that. We also will have a cruise in. We're working on that too. So keep that on your calendars for September 23rd. It is a Saturday. So anybody that wants to be involved or as a vendor or anything like that, please contact us and let us know, and we'll put you on the list.
Well, everyone, appreciate everyone being here tonight, and I hope and I know that everyone's feeling the momentum. So let's carry this thing forward and keep pushing. We have a lot to celebrate, and we have a lot of work to do. So thank you again, and have a great evening. And let's please stay around, and we'll show you the new chamber office. Thank you.